Hey Star Wars fans, how you doing? It's John, and in this video I want to talk about this new line of Star Wars items by Hasbro. This is the lesser expensive items, right? They're trying to gear towards the pricing and not as detailed. These are less, they don't move as much. The articulation isn't as good as a Black series, for example. The detailed figures aren't quite as there as well. So this is kind of a lower level line of figures. It's a new strategy that Hasbro's trying to do. And quite frankly, I found these at Walmart the other day, and I was so surprised to see them at Walmart in what I call the wild, because to find new figures out at local shops where I live anyway is extremely rare. The distribution for Hasbro has been terrible for years, even predating COVID by years, going back to probably 2017, 16, maybe even 15, going about 10 years of just really bad distribution. I've been collecting Star Wars figures since 1995. Right, when they re-released the Star Wars figures. I remember going to Target and Toys R Us and other places growing up and finding figures quite easily. But about 10 years ago, that's changed, and now I go to shops and locations and there's the same peg warmer figures. Lando usually is there all the time, and it's just really disappointing. So when I saw these on the pegs, I was really surprised. The first thing that caught my eye was the price. The single 3 3/4 inch figures retails for $10, which is significant because Black Series figures alone are about $17 US. So these are, significantly less, obviously gearing towards the more price conscious person. And then I got 2 Deluxe figures that I believe they were about $16, $17, but they have like cool armor and things like that. So let's take a look, kind of close look at each figure, and I'll show you kind of what I got. But overall, my first impression is these aren't too bad. They kind of remind me of the Power Force 2 figures back in the day, right? Back when the line initially started. Not really great articulations. The elbows don't move. Basically the head, the arms, the legs, that's moved. The knees don't bend or anything like that. And that's okay. If you're playing with these, that's great. As a kid, for me, I display these. So is that the articulation is not a huge issue for me. First figure I want to point out is Luke Skywalker. This looks like a circa Return of the Jedi, maybe Mandalorian. He does have a backpack with him as well. So I'm not sure if that's for Grogu or Yoda. Just says Luke Skywalker. And on the back, it talks a bit about the figure itself, about one line about the figure in English, but there's other languages too. Looks like they have French, looks like they have Spanish, and some other languages as well. And a whole bunch of different attention warnings. Like the attention thing takes up like a quarter of the back, which is ridiculous. Figures never used to be like that. I'm not sure why they have to have a choking hazard warning. I guess they're worried about people suing them or swallowing the lightsaber or whatever, but kind of ridiculous. I think, first impressions, not too bad. It does kind of look like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. I don't know how well you can see it, but pretty cool looking figure. And of course, the next figure I'm going to point out is Darth Vader. Judging on the chest plate, I'm guessing it's Return of the Jedi, because the chest plate in Return of the Jedi is a little bit different than in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. But very cool. Darth Vader's been done a million times. Does come with a lightsaber. The back is pretty plain Jane, right? But all pretty good. If you're looking for a cheap Darth Vader with $10, this might be a good one to get. Next is Stormtrooper. It's a pretty easy figure to do, right? Because it's just like white. The attention detail is actually pretty, but not bad. I mean, so far I'm pretty impressed with this line for what you get. And the next figure, of course, is Grogu, also known as Baby Yoda from Mandalorian. He comes with his little traveling, I don't know what you call it, like bed or floating bed, whatever. There is a stand for it, which is cool. And he does have pegs. They do have pegs in the bottom. His legs aren't separated like that. If you're looking for a cheap Grogu, I think it's pretty cool. I know the Black Series one is obviously a little more detailed than that, but not bad. And of course, sticking with the Mandalorian, this is one. He has the Vazguard armor. So this is like season 2 Mandalorian. And he has his black saber. So maybe this has been season 3. So he has a black saber. And I think that's really cool. He also looks like he has a gun. This is, like, to my knowledge, the first Mandalorian Mando figure with the black, like the dark saber. I might be mistaken on that. Let me know if I'm wrong. Call me out on that, please. And then here's the back. This is probably my favorite of the figures so far. And then this is Paz Vizsla. He's also from Mandalorian, and he's got like a jetpack. He's got some kind of cannon with a shooting projectile, and it shows you this. These kind of remind me of like the original Power Force 2 line of figures from '95, right? Late '90s, early 2000s, where they're kind of detailed but not really articulate as far as articulation goes. And yeah, it's really cool. And then this is Sabine Wren. It's from, of course, Ahsoka series. And what's interesting about these figures, it doesn't really say what series or what movie they're from. It just says Star Wars. They're all kind of generic. The packaging is very generic. It just says Star Wars, but you don't have to be a fan to kind of know. But she has some type of shield. She has a lightsaber, which is awesome. And she has some type of jetpack as well, with some type of projectile thing you can put on her arm, which is awesome. So Sabine's always a great one. Now, her helmet does not come off. None of these helmets come off, to my knowledge. They're not, again, Black Series figures, you get that detail. You have the helmets come off, you see the head, you see the hair, you see the detail. In some cases, you get cloth clothes. This is more just generic, right? But I'm okay with this. I like the direction that Hasbro's going. Don't get me wrong, I like the Black Series. I'm a big fan of it. They're really hard to find. $17 is really expensive for a 3 3/4 inch. I remember when the 6-inch scale figures were like $20. Now they're like closer to $30. So, inflation's obviously hit. It costs more to produce these. I get it, but still, it's very expensive now to collect Star Wars. And I think this is kind of a good direction that Hasbro is doing or going. Let me know what you guys think. What other figures are you hoping to see in this line? Some cheap ones, right? I'd love to see, Chewbacca would be cool. Han Solo, of course, the classics. I'd love to see figures from the prequels, of course, as well. I'm one of the fans of, even though my age group, and a lot of people my age don't really like the prequels, I actually liked episode 1, believe it or not. I think Darth Maul would be really cool to see in this. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you soon, and may the Force be with you always. Take care.